how we arrive at, we're going to talk about our spiritual awakening or our journey today, and give you some of my aspects of what I see and what I do, and kind of an idea of how to make that spiritual journey. A lot of us will be on some kind of spiritual journey in our lives, and we have to realize that, as my grandmother used to say, do what you love and love what you do. So the question is on our journey, I know in our lives, we have to do things within our lives that are going to kind of, we're going to have to do them because we have to feed ourselves. We have to supply prosperity in our lives through something that we do in our lives. Might not be exactly what we love to do. We might not even think it's part of our spiritual journey, but it is to bring us to that point of loving where we are, having that connection to the space that we are at. And whether it's just maybe just love one part of it, maybe one instance of what you're doing, maybe just something about it. It is allow you to start to put yourself in that situation of how you arrive at where you need to be. We have to love where we are, as my friend of mine used to say, bloom where you're planted, bloom where you're planted in the vibration. And as we move in a spiritual journey, it's that whole question of is how we walk. And I really don't want people to really understand that, oh my God, Lou, I got to catch up with people. I've got to do this. When I have a mediumship class, people say, well, I can't read like them, Lou. We can read like you. You can put some kind of connection to you. It's not like you have to catch everyone else. Everyone else that's ahead of you that has learned for a while, or is going to bring you along with them, going to bring you with them. So if we allow ourselves to enjoy the journey, not to just run as fast as we can without enjoying the pieces of the journey. When I was a kid, the first thing I learned how to do was to candle glaze, to watch a candle, to focus my intent on the candle, to look at the candle and focus my complete intent on that candle. Now, that took me a while to really not lose my focus of the candle. So I got a chance to just watch the candle and then focus my intent towards the candle. From the candle, my spiritual journey took me to mirror gazing. And mirror gazing works very well if you do it in I want to say not a bright lighted room, but a dimly lit room. And you just stare at the mirror. Pretty soon, figures, fog, lights, different things will show up in the mirror. So if we allow ourselves to get to that point, that vibration of seeing that, and see, the spiritual journey is about letting go, letting be, letting go. And we have to let go. And whatever's going on in our lives, is if we think bad and things have always been bad for us, they'll always be bad. If we think that we're never going to do mediumship, we'll never probably not do mediumship. If our life is miserable right now, we're not moving anywhere else, and it's positive. Unless we get to the point that we're positive where we are, we move to where it's more positive. So the question here is, when you do your mediumship, figure out what's your first journey. What is your first part of your journey? Is it meditation? Is it connecting to your guides? Do you have dreams? Do you have dreams, very lucid dreamings? Do you have a knowing? Do you experience spirit in a certain way and how they arrive in your life? What is the start of your journey? That's the one you need to focus on. It's the first door that opened. It's the first vibration that opened for you. So if we focus our intent on that door, the rest of the doors along the way will open. There's a place in Camp Edna. And upstairs in one of the large buildings, they used to have all the mediums, and people used to sleep up there in small little rooms. And when you look from the hallway going up the stairs, you see all these little doors, all these little doors all the way down the hallway. There must be like 20 of them. And I always seen that when I was a kid. I would see those doors and I would think, oh, we got through the first door, we got to the top of the staircase. Now we've got to the top of the staircase, focusing ourselves down the path. But then there's all these doors as I move down the hallway. And every door that I would look in that room at Camp Edna, every room was different. Every room had a different vibration going on in it. So as you move down the hallway, different vibrations were going on in every doorway. It's like our spiritual growth. We get to the top of the stairs, and then we start venturing down the hallway. Day. So how does that vibration connect today? How does it connect to the vibration? We have to ask ourselves, where do you personally want to be as far as when you're doing your work? Through the candle gazing, through the candle gazing and the vibrations, through the working with mediumship, working through candle gazing, then the mirror, and then my grandmother and people in my life started teaching me tarot, different types of tarot, different types of working with tarot, and how to understand what the meanings were. And then at that point, I started learning how to set my psychic vocabulary. And during our spiritual journey, that's one of our key points of how we expand that vibration, is how our spiritual journey, what the meanings are for things that appear in our lives. If you see a willow tree, I could expect that a willow tree could bring peace, balance. It's allowing you to get rid of hurts and things within your life, what I would expect as a willow tree. Now, you might look at a willow tree and say, no, my grandfather had one on his property. We used to play under the willow tree. We used to have fun. You'd have a whole different vibration of what that willow tree actually meant. So as you make your journey, everything has a meaning. There's synchronicity with mediumship. So if you're doing a reading, and that's why I like people having circles or working with people that are doing the work, because you're going to tell somebody something and they're going to go, yeah, that's exactly what it is. Then when you hear that vibration, you place that symbol, that vibration that you got in that hole, in that place. So next time you see that, next time you connect to that in a spiritual reading, you go, ooh, I know what that means. I know exactly what that means. So as we move through our spiritual growth, we start to learn where things fit for us. You've got your own little store. The only ones supplying the store, putting things on the shelf, are you. So as you supply your store, where are you placing the things in the store? Not having somebody tell you exactly where you should personally place them. Where are you placing them? That is the key. And so I've always learned that as during mediumship. I learned, it took me quite a few years of my life to learn my psychic vocabulary. And I'm still studying it after all these years. There's certain things I'll see, I'll go, really? And then all of a sudden I'll go, okay, that's what that means. And I will place a symbol to it. Think of it as like you're having all these sale items in your store. You got all these little tags, and when you know what something means or what it's worth, you write on a tag, you tie it around the symbol, you put it somewhere on the shelf. So that symbol always has a tag. It always has a meaning to where you're going. So your growth, we'll see if you're just started this growth. Told people the other day in the class, get some keywords in your vibration to turn the mediumship on. Get some keywords to turn the mediumship off. So you're not on 24/7. One thing on your spiritual journey, you can't go journeying all the time without living life. You can't be all ungrounded and half crazy and not really living life, not really doing what you need to do on this earth plane to do what you need to do. If you're just always like out there somewhere, you're floating somewhere. You have to come grounded every once in a while. You have to ground yourself. You have to focus your vibration. That's by turning it off and turning it on. Learning who the teachers are, vibrations in your life that are teaching you or instructing you. You're not going to learn everything from me. We're not going to learn everything from me. But I will try my best to teach you what I learned in my life through my teachers and instructors that I had in my life, and try to give you the things that I learned possibly something I tell you will work for you. It'll fit the vibration for you. But I can't just say, yep, you've got to believe this way, got to walk this way. Can't do that. What I can do is just give you the tags, say, these are what the tags mean to me. And if you like what I've placed on the tags or what somebody else has placed on the tags, then hook them to the symbol and put it on the wall. Put it there so that when you call it back up or you have it, it's there. When I teach mediumship, it's the family. They might not work the same for you, same vibration for you. But if I'm looking straight at your vibration, right side, my right side is father's side. Left side, just deduction, mother side. If I see children in front of you, they're yours. I see children wandering around, walking all around, probably deserve to be with family. Right above your head, grandparents. And they'll stay on whatever side, mother side, father side of the family. They'll move in that direction. Then I've got friends that sit over on the right side, off at a distance. I've got different things that I have set where people belong. And they never say, "Oh my God, Lou, we're gonna mess you up today. We're gonna change spots." They stay in the same spot. They show up in the same vibration. So when I'm doing a reading and somebody shows up on your right side, I'm going to definitely go on the father's side of the family. I'm not going to change it, not going to move it, not going to say it. I'm not going to be the type of medium that says, "Oh my God, I've got your father here. Oh, your father's still alive. Oh no, has to be an uncle. Oh, uncle's still here. Okay, nephew, cousin. All right, maybe this person belongs on your mother's side. Let's go. If I've got father's side, I will stay with the father's side of the family. I will not change it. Because what happens when you do that, when you start changing and moving and reorganizing the situation, your guides will start thinking that you don't believe in them, that you don't have that connection with them. So they don't have as much respect for the message work as you move forward. So if you stay true to what they're trying to tell you, and then if you do make a mistake, you say, "Lewis, I'm in a mistake. They gave me this and I don't know why they gave it." Then that's when you go back and ask them, "All right, you're showing me this on my spiritual journey. Why? Why have you shown that to me? Why has that appeared in my vibration? Why?" And allow them to work with. Now, you might think, "Oh my God, they're just going to slap me, tell me, and oh my God, I'm going to have the message right now." Yeah, sometimes it takes a couple of days for them to orchestrate situations, things in your life to give you the message. It's that repetition, that psychometry in the vibration. Everything you say, every bit of energy that comes through the spirit world working through a channel, which is me, every bit of energy that I place out into the ethers is part of the energy of the psychometry. The more energy spirit places into my vibration, the stronger the energy will become as it comes out of my vibration. If I give the energy no credence that's coming through me, probably the message work that's coming out of me will not have a lot of meaning. I have to be able to connect to that vibration through spirit, the connection to spirit world. I have to believe, trust, have faith. I have to let go of fear where I'm walking or where I'm going on the path. I might get halfway down that aisle at Camp Edna up on that second floor, and I might not like the first 2, 3, or 4 doors I've passed, but the 5th door, I like that. Then I venture in. I take what I need from that room, pack it all in my vibration, then move back out to the hallway. I keep my journey down the hall. Always ask your guides if there's something more I need to learn, something more I need to put in motion that I haven't seen yet. Please show me. Allow your guides to show you, because that's what they're there for. You have the teachers, the instructors, the master guides, the people that are working in your auric field. So CERN would tell me there are many, many, many guides in many houses that hold guides on the other side. We personally can knock at many doors, but maybe only a few are answered. So the question is when you knock at these doors, don't get discouraged if one isn't answered. It means that wasn't really tricky for you. Don't force yourself to do something. Say, oh my God, Lou, I've got to do that. Because I have people now, I'm going to be teaching large class on I Ching. Well, I Ching is a total, a very old form of divinity to pull through information from the spirit world. It's an old form of it and a very old form of working with coins. Now, I can teach you how to do that, but that door might not be your door. You might like pieces of the door, but you might not like the full door. And that's why I explain, don't take everything on your spiritual journey to heart. Oh my God, person wants me to learn this, and I should probably learn that. No. When you give it energy, when you place your energy from the spirit world as your channel through you, and as you focus your energy in a direction, does it fit you? That's the key. Does it fit? My mediumship fits me because of one reason. I'm not like a purebred spiritualist medium. I've got all kinds of little stuff. So I've learned quite a few things through my journey with spirit. I didn't keep all of it. I kept what I needed to make me who I am. Not because it's here to make you who you are, but me to make me who I am. So through the tarot, the I Ching, teacup readings, flower readings, oil readings, wax readings, there's all kinds of different types of readings that I can teach you to do. But not all those readings, I have a radiation to me. I don't do tarot all the time, but I know what every tarot card means. If it appeared in your vibration psychically, I saw a tarot card being dropped from clear air into your vibration, I know exactly what that tarot card means. Same thing with I Ching and the coins. If some coins were dropped in your vibration, I know exactly what they mean through years of practice. And it doesn't take massive years of work at this. You have to allow, the best thing I knew when I was a kid is to become the channel. Not to fight the channel, not to argue with the channel, but to become the channel. To allow the information to come through me, and then to pick what I felt radiated to me. Not because I stopped the energy from coming, I allowed it to come through me. That comes into the protection part of your spiritual journey. Protecting your vibration. Highest and best and nothing else. You can burn sage, you can do cedar, you can throw sea salt, you can do a weird little dance, you can say some little prayer. Doesn't really matter what you do. What you do for yourself to say highest and best and nothing else. You only in your life, in mediumship, in your spiritual path, will only attract what you believe that you deserve. What you believe you deserve. What you believe will drop from the spirit world to your life. What can you personally accept if it dropped in tomorrow? If your guide started talking to you full force tomorrow, giving you names and all kinds of things, could you accept that? Could you accept to be a natural healer, to bring through healing through individuals just by being in a room with them? Could you accept different things with spiritual work? Could you accept it? Could you be open to it? That's what you have to ask yourself on your journey. Because maybe the rooms you're moving past are the rooms you need to walk into. And if you give something energy, if you give something vibrational energy of something at this point in your life, make sure that vibrational energy works for you. If all hell's breaking loose in that room, and all hell is breaking loose in that room, you have to ask yourself, if everything is breaking loose in that room, is it where you need to be? I learned a lot from other religions, other vibrations in my life, all these different religions that I've had in my life. I'm still part of that. I'm still part of the vibration. I didn't get rid of my father's roots as a Southern Baptist. I didn't get rid of my grandmother's roots as a Catholic. I didn't get rid of my grandfather's roots as a Native American. I didn't get rid of these roots. I just sorted them. I know as a spiritualist, I'm a spiritualist, I'm supposed to say that, but I don't really deem myself a red drawn the blood spiritualist. It's a label they've given me, but that's not exactly who I am. I'm a conglomerate of all the vibrations that have ever existed in my existence in this lifetime. When I studied Tao, when I studied Taoism, when I studied Hinduism, when I studied, I've been through some religions. I've been through some. But the question is what radiated to me from those? There's a book that I have at my library. I handed out to one of the students, but it's a psychic healing book. And one of the prayers in there are, I am soul, I am light divine, I am love, I am will, I am fixed design. Now, I read that book many, 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 many years ago. Now, I probably remember a little bit of the book, but the one thing I really got from the book was that prayer. I am soul, I am light divine, I am love, I am will, I am fixed design. I like that prayer, and it just stuck with me through all these years. There are different things in our lives that will stick with us, whether it's through whatever religion it is. So I don't believe that you get rid of your religions. You don't just stop signing the paper in one religion church and then you move to another church and sign another paper and say, okay, I gave that all up. I'm here now. No, it doesn't quite work that way, because you're always part of that other religion. It's part of you, part of your growth, your spiritual path. You don't get halfway down the room. It's like I said, you're camp bed now, up that upstairs, got all those doors down that hallway. You don't get halfway down the hallway and then set fire to the path behind you. What you do is you pull from that path whatever you need from it, and the rest you leave for others to find. And that's what we're all doing in our lives on our spiritual journey. We allow ourselves to move down that path in that journey in our lives. But as we move down that path, what we don't take for us didn't quite fit us, but what we leave behind for others on the journey, they could just think it was the best thing in the whole world, and they pick it up. So the question is don't think that, Lewis, I'm leaving something behind. Because somebody will pick it up. Somebody will think it's the best thing in the whole world. We allow ourselves to understand that. We're not leaving something. We are encouraging others to follow their own dream, their own path. So with mediumship, whatever you do here, whatever you do in this connection to your spiritual growth, my spiritual growth is a lot to deal with meditation. I do all kinds of different forms of meditation, transcendental meditation. I do all kinds of things that I learned throughout my life. And whatever works for that moment that I think will work for what I'm trying to look for, that is the meditation I'll do. Don't get stuck on doing a meditation and say, no, that's what everybody else wants us to do. No, I'm like in the back corner of the cinema. Nobody can see me over there meditating, doing my stuff. I'm not here to show. I'm here to allow you to follow your journey, your vibration. And that is the key, whatever you do in this life, it is never the destination. It is the journey. We can believe in all this karma and all this stuff in our lives, but it's never that. It's you picked most of the journey. You picked long before you got here. Picked the destinations. You picked some of the people you were going to come in contact with, whether negative or positive. You pick some of this stuff, but that's the destination. The journey, though, free will and choice, how you maneuver the journey in your life. That is the key. With the same thing with mediumship. You can take everything off the shelf, pile it all in your vibration, have psychic overload. Or you can take what you need and leave the rest for others, but take what you need and move down the path. You don't want to get to this in your spiritual growth and get to a point that you're just completely stopped. Because you'll eventually get to the spirit world, and spirit will take off your physical blindfold and go, what do you think? And while we were on this earth plane, we could have experienced that opening, that vibration, that clear channel with the spirit world. I'm still looking for more information. Out of all these years I've been doing it, I'm still hunting for that one door I'm going to walk and go, whoo, never saw that before. That's awesome. That's what I'm always looking for. I'm looking for that next vibration, even through meditation, even through getting in contact with spirit on my journey. I'm not satisfied with the one room that they take me to. I'm always looking for the next door to the next room. Sure, I'll enjoy the room that I'm in, but I'm always looking for that next door that I need to walk through to experience a new room. And that's the same thing where we are, or where you are in your life right now, where you live, who's in your life, what you're doing, what you do for a living, what you're doing, what everything is going on in your life right now. You must enjoy that space so that when the next door opens, the enjoyable space is even better as you walk through. You have to enjoy this space, this vibration. So on your mediumship, don't let your guides mess with you. Don't let them mess with your vibration. Explain to them what you expect from them. Explain, talk to them, but also take on whatever you feel is best for you. Don't say, Lewis, somebody taught me this, and this is the way I'm going to do it. Really? Do you like that? Oh no, I don't like doing that. Well, then why are you becoming a habit with it? So when you become a habit, or you've got to meditate this way, you got to meditate 15 minutes, you got to put your feet on the floor. Blah, 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 blah. How do you meditate? What works the best for you? Where have you got your best results with meditation? That's where you go. Not because I've told you to meditate a certain way. What is your best results that you have gotten with your mediumship, meditation, connection to the spirit world, your spiritual path? Best. What was your best? Look in that direction. It might not fit everyone else. Everybody else might look at you a little strange, a little weird. Oh my God, they do this. Oh Jesus, I don't know. But you're looking and say, no, 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 this works for me. This fits the vibration I'm looking for. And my mother used to, she did rock readings where rocks would light up, and she'd give you readings from the rocks and the lights that you would pick. But she also did a thing with flowers. Now I do flower readings. You hold on to the flower, whatever flower you pick, whatever flower you brought into existence, I give you a reading about it, situations in your life. But my mother used to pull flowers, all kinds of different flowers. And they used to have somebody in the audience pull a petal, 4 petals from different flowers, 1 petal from 4 different flowers. And when they laid those petals on the table, my mother would give you a reading about your life. She used to call it petal reading. So there was different ways that my mother connected to spirit, but I always understood that the emblem, the situation she was looking at, was not really what she was watching. Sure, you picked those subconsciously or consciously, you did, but through what was going on behind you, as spirit was overshadowing you, that is what she was watching. What you were doing behind the scenes as you walked up and pulled those petals. So the reading has already started long before you laid the petals on the table. The reading has started. Same thing with a reading in my office. Reading, you come to my front porch, you walk in my door. The reading starts as soon as you hit that front door. Your people have already been here, sitting in my living room. So the reading has started when you enter the front door. As you walk into my office and take a seat, the reading has already started. To the symbols, the vibrations, the things are already starting to be downloaded into my vibration. And through those symbols, I have to make a decent reading. I have to tell a story. And the same thing, the story of your spiritual journey. Well, we're always told in this workshop and situations of life, keep a spiritual journal, a dream journal. I was told that in my life, keep a spiritual journal. You don't keep a spiritual journal just to write. You keep a spiritual journal to set the map of how you're arriving at your spiritual best. adjusting the path ahead as you move down the path. Because you're going to see things in your meditation, see things in your work today. And might be you'll see them again, and you'll see them again. Reason you keep a journal is not because you need to keep like, oh, you keep a journal that when you start looking at it, you say, you know, I saw that a few days ago, then I saw it again. You know, that showed up again in one of my meditations. Usually with the repetition, Spirit is trying to tell you something, trying to give you some kind of message. Because Spirit usually will not really just hit you once and walk away. Once, twice, three times, and here we go. So I've learned in my life it's the body, mind, spirit, Father, Son, Holy Ghost. Body, mind, spirit, three times. We did seances in the older days. My mother did seances. There was three-legged tables. Body, mind, spirit, Father, Son, Holy Ghost. Three-legged tables to do table tipping, to work with spirit. It was always that candle three vibrations. You walk in a spiritualist church, they have a body, mind, spirit. You light a candle for body, mind, spirit. Three. There's a symbol of three. It symbols to where you're going to be on your journey. So if Spirit gives you a green boat, you go, oh, green boat. A couple of days later, you have a dream about a green boat. You start getting out of your driveway, driving down the street, there's a green boat. You go, okay, guys, I got the message. I need to concentrate on what a green boat means to me. You're concentrating on it. And that's why I've tried to teach you not to get so fixated with situations. Don't get fixated with guides. Don't get fixated with stuff. Oh my God, if I can't sit with my special stone next to my lap, I won't be able to do readings. Or if my guide isn't here, the one that I really truly love, if they aren't here, I can't do readings. I can't connect to spirit if that person or that situation isn't here. Why? Really? You teach yourself that, then you block yourself from moving down that hallway to a different doorway, to a different vibration. I've said here before in classes, your guides will change as you move down the path. I don't care what kind of guides you have now. You have a gatekeeper, physician, an alchemist. Out of those three guides, they stay with you throughout your life. The rest of the guides change. Don't get guide fixated because they're definitely going to change. As you progress and you raise your vibration in this lifetime, your guides will change. If your guides have not changed in your whole lifetime, there's a little bit of a problem because you haven't got to those other doorways yet to raise your vibration. So the guides have to change or they get to change in your vibration. Listen to yourself. The major thing is just listening and connecting to that higher sense of consciousness. You might hear a song, you might hear something on the radio, then all of a sudden it plays again. Oh my God, you heard it again. There it is again. And it's like either somebody from the spirit world is trying to connect to you, or they're trying to show you something that has to deal with that plane. I might get your vibration, they're in the back behind you singing, leaving on a jet plane. And I'm going, oh, you're going to be taking a trip. So the question is, I'm listening. I'm learning to listen to the vibration of spirit. That's all we get to do in this lifetime. Is spirit will play 25 questions, throw a couple of breadcrumbs, try to see if we follow, if we're looking. If we're not looking, they're not going to bother taking us any further. They're just going to say, okay, we tried to give you some breadcrumbs. You weren't looking, so we're not going to allow that. But it's what you just keep watching, what's going on around you, who shows up in your life. What is your true passion with your work? My true passion is meditation. I love taking trips, going out of body, heading off into the spirit world. I do. But the question is I do mediumship. Sure, I help, I do things, but I do it a lot for me to raise my vibration, to try to get me to where I personally need to be, where I feel like I should be. I'm always looking for that next door, that next vibration, that next energy that's going to affect me, teaching me on this earth planet. Because we all have these teachers in the spirit world. Whether we're awake, we're sleeping, we're in meditation, we're being downloaded into. The information is being downloaded into our vibration as we move through circumstances within our lives. I live in a spiritual scan. Information's downloaded here. Some of it you want, some of it you don't, but boy, it's downloaded. And you have to figure out what you keep. What, oh my God, do I need that? Do I need this? Do I need that? No. You can't take everything and stack it. Then you become my grandmother used to say, I'm not a hoarder, Lou. I'm a collector. Are we going to be a collector or are we going to be a hoarder? That's the question. Do you collect some really nice stuff to put on the shelf? Collect this really shiny stuff, put it on the shelf, or are you going to be a hoarder? Have stuff all over the floor and have to walk on it. What are you going to be as you do your spiritual work? We used to have many years ago, I'm going to tell you many years ago, we had a person out here teaching Reiki, teaching people to be Reiki 1, Reiki 2, Master Reiki. But the person would never give people the God symbol. He'd keep that. But I always wondered why he would keep the God symbol, why he wouldn't give the God symbol, because that was one of the key symbols to bring warmth into the hands and bring the power from the universe. Why not the God symbol? And that one person said, well, they don't need that yet. That's something that I can keep for myself. Really? Why are you teaching Reiki if you don't want to give people what they need? That's the question. It's what Spirit is looking at you. They're trying to give you what you need for your spiritual journey. What do you need for your spiritual journey? Many years ago when I was young, I'm not old yet, but when I was younger, I took a trip. I was outside of Tibet. I was in Tibet. But remember when you get up in the Himalayas, there's every 7 miles, about every 7, sometimes 9 miles, there's fruit stands. You get to get stuff for your journey. Get some water, get some fruit, get some whatever you need as you make your climb, as you make your walk. So I always assume that with life too. About every 9 years, we regroup, we rebalance, we reset, we stop at the store, pick up what we need for the next part of our journey. We have to realize that as we get to those parts in our vibration, there's refreshment stands. There's places along the road for us to renew, rebalance. A lot of times your body has all these cell growths within your vibration for 7 years. You don't have to take it anymore. You can suffer through, but you can always your cells renew themselves in a certain amount of time. They do. Same thing is with the psychic vibration. It renews itself and moves to a higher level, or it stays stagnant. So you always ask your guides, highest and best, nothing else, please show this to me. Please show this to me. So if we allow ourselves to find that passion, I have a passion for it, but you have to find your passion as your spiritual journey. Maybe it's taking a spiritual journey. Maybe you're going to go to Machu Picchu, meditate in the Temple of the Moon. Maybe that. Maybe we're going to walk somewhere. Maybe we're going to walk somewhere. Maybe it's going to walk somewhere and just walk with situations. Maybe that's it. Maybe you can do a walking meditation. I like doing my walking meditations. Maybe you're going to do a deep meditation, transcendental meditation. Maybe you're going to do some other type of meditation that you personally do. But when you take the journey, ask your guides, is there some information that I need to know, that I need to see, that I haven't seen yet? Could you please show me? And as they download this information, they'll move that file to the front of the situation and allow you to read it. So allow yourself to read that, to connect to that vibration. Don't sit and say, Lewis, I don't know how we're supposed to find this connection. Really? Whether it's mediumship, whether it's healing, whether it's connecting to a higher sense of consciousness, what do you see ahead of you? I might have a whole different view of what's ahead of you. Whatever's going on in your life, whatever's been happening in your life, whatever's been going on in your life, I don't see that view. All I can see is there's a path ahead of you. What do you see? What do you want to pull towards you? then pull that, then move that vibration. And sometimes it's just books that just arrive in your life from out of the blue. Many years ago, I probably said this a long time ago on one of these tapes, but many years ago, I was here living here in Casadega, and me and my wife, we were just in there, and I was with Rumpha, Jason night, Rumpha. But anyway, I didn't have all the tapes that I needed from Rumpha. And I couldn't afford them at that time to see these tapes because I wanted them, but trying to go through Rumpha and trying to afford these tapes, I could not afford them. So I really wanted the information. So I told my guys, I said, I really need the information. I really like to have that. Sure enough, within a few weeks, somebody stopped at my house, brought me a TV set, a DVD, a VHS player, and brought me 2 or 3 boxes of these Rumpha tapes that I could play on this TV with VHS. That's 8-track VHS. But they just arrived in my life. They just arrived in the vibration. I wanted to know about pipe carriers, learning how to work with peace pipe carriers. Then right behind me, here in Casadega, moved Two Tree, who was a Lakota pipe carrier. So things will arrive in our lives as we asked our guide and say, you know, I'd really like to see that. I would really like to experience that. And it will definitely arrive within our lives. We have to see what drops off the shelf, what fits the vibration for us. So I said, walking down that hallway, sure, there's going to be many doors opening, but not every single door you need to walk into. You can look from the doorway and see if it's worth your while walking into that situation. Not because I told you to walk there. Does it fit the vibration for you? It's all psychic. We can all talk out here in Casadega and different things are vibration. Medium. Well, bless your little heart. We are psychic and mediums. We begin psychically, end our mediumship, end up mediumistically, or mediumistically starting it, ending it psychically. Psychic will play some kind of part in our readings. As I said, do you enter the front door? The reading is started. Sometimes it's just psychically because you brought 20 duffel bags with you and you're almost tripping trying to get to my office, trying to drag these bags behind you. So I have to really realize, what are we doing? What are we connecting to? So trust yourself. The major thing is just trusting your vibration, trusting that connection to your higher sense of consciousness. That's it. Has nothing else more to deal to that at all. Doesn't have to mean because I'm in a spiritualist association, I'm a metaphysical association, I'm in this association, I'm in that association. It doesn't really matter. I'm in 2 associations now. I'm a metaphysician, I have my doctorate. I'm also a spiritualist. I'm something else too, and I'm other things too. So, conglomerate of a lot. So where do you fit? Is it spiritual, spiritualist, metaphysical? Where? And I don't want to really put a label on it. I don't want to say, oh my God, you've got to be this. What is your label that you placed in your own vibration? I think we all should be issued our own little personal pen. That is my pen. That's who I am. But your pen your pen's not going to look like anybody else's pen. It's just going to be yours. You have to trust that energy within your being of how it's trying to lead you down the path. Spiritual growth is not something that just happens to you. It's because you took the path and started venturing down the path, and these situations then appeared in your path for you to look at. Unless you absolutely have to take some of this to affect somebody's life, to affect your life, and a massive thing to affect others, it'll arrive in your life. Spirit will throw it in at you to make you look at it. But most of the time, I've learned in this lifetime, It is the journey we choose in our life. It's the journey we choose and how we perceive the journey, how we personally perceive it, not because it's been perceived for us. The journey is ours, our free will and choice, how we connect to the destination in our lives. Because some of us, we have to realize that we've been this route before. We probably been sitting on this meditation, on this field, in this lifetime, in other lifetimes, meditating, getting quiet, connecting to spirit. We've had all these things happen throughout lifetimes. And we are the best that we've ever been in this lifetime because we have connection to all that information through all those other lifetimes and those existences on the spirit world. So all that information is held within ourselves. All we have to do is open or crack the door, and the cell energy radiates within our being, and we have a knowing. We have a knowing like, I knew that. When I read the White Book from Rampa many years ago, I started reading that book, and then everything in the book, I go, I know that. I knew that. I knew that. I know that. And it's when you get that information in your life, and you go, I know that. I knew that. When I was traveling overseas and I was other places in the world, I always understood in other cultures how they believed in spirit, how they worked with spirit, how they connected to the spirit world. But I always believed that I could take pieces of that or parts of that and make it part of my being. I didn't have to take all of it. I didn't have to pray at the altar. I didn't have to do this. I had to pray where my altar was. So when you're in this work, find your own altar, find your own place of worship, your temple, which is inside of you. I have to say, if you are somewhere else in the world and a temple was all disgusting and dirty and doesn't really have a lot of energy into it, you're probably not going to go in that temple and pay your respects. That's why you have to clear your temple, clean the vibration, understand the temple that you reside within, get rid of all the psychic debris. Certain people in your life, you have to allow them to go because they don't quite fit the vibration within your personal temple. Allow you to move forward, to allow you to furnish the temple with whatever you want. And be able to receive from the spirit world and from the physical world to encourage your growth. That's a key. I have people go, well, oh, I don't know, probably don't deserve that. I don't need that. Oh, really? Whatever spirit wants to give me, whatever spirit wants me to look at or pay attention to in my life, I will do that. Whether I keep it, now that's a whole different story, but I will definitely pay attention. I will look at it. I will weigh the possibilities of it, and I will keep it or let it go, leave it somewhere on the path for somebody else to find. Doesn't mean I have to take it all, but I can leave the rest for others to find. Because it could be just the perfect thing for somebody else. It was just what they personally needed. So today, we end this today, vibration. What do you personally need for your spiritual growth? Tell your guides, explain to them, what do you personally need for your spiritual growth? What do you need? I'm still asking them every day for more stuff. So I am. I had somebody come in the other day, said, Louis, I read this book on this iPad. I said, no. And I handed him a book I have here in my office. It's back from the early 1800s. It's hand signed by the author. It's got energy. Oh, the book's definitely got energy. And when they held the book, they said, oh, God, this book's got a lot of energy. I said, this book's got a lot more energy than that iPad of yours. Because you got to remember that through from 1826, when the book was written, all the way to this time period, somebody has picked that book up. They have read that book. They have touched it. They've turned the pages. they have left their energy and their consciousness, a little bit of it, in the book. So out of all that time, maybe 20, 30, 40 people have read that book. So out of all that time, I've got all that energy, all that consciousness within that book as I read it, and how they understood it and how it's supposed to affect me. Why I always like hard copy books, because it gives me an idea of touching in with the people who have done it before. When I walk into monasteries or temples, it isn't when I walk in. It isn't because I'm rushing into the temple. I take my time. I walk the steps as everyone else has walked into the temple. I feel the energy with every step that I take up into the temple as I kneel and pray. Question is before me, how many other people have knelt and prayed in that specific space where I stopped? The energy that I felt from inside the temple. It's like the Casadega, the Colby temple here. I was coming here when I was a kid. I'm here as pastor as an adult. But out of all the years, all the people who have worked for the platform, ventured into that church, held seances in the seance room behind the platform. All that vibrational energy, when you walk in that church, it's not the politics of the organization, not politics of spiritualism. There's not any of that. When you walk in, you can feel vibration in the church if you're open to it. At every church I ever go into, I walk as if I am walking in the footsteps of the founders. And that's how I walk. So allow yourself to do that. Every once in a while in your life, walk as if you're walking in the footsteps of the founders. Feel the vibration. From Harmony Hall, the bottom apartment, I think Reverend Maynard Jones has got that apartment now. But before George Colby died, he was in that apartment. He was there. They brought him back to camp to take care of him. But George Colby, when he first got here, would walk from that apartment down Stevens Street, down the side, down into Colby Temple. So sometimes when I'm walking from Harmony Hall, I'm visualizing myself walking in Colby's footsteps as he ventures down to the temple in his day of prayer or his day of meditation. So whatever place you're at, take that idea in your head. Whose step am I walking into at this point? Whose spiritual movement, whose spiritual energy was left here for me to find, to feel, to encourage me on my journey as I make my way to my spiritual space. It works. Just allow yourself to be you, not because you're trying to be me or somebody else, but you. But always try to look at it that way. I live in Reverend Robert McDonald's house. He was president of National Spiritual Association. He was a Springwood Township teacher and medium. And he walked to his house all the time. He lived here. So every once in a while, I can just feel his energy as I walk through this house. I can feel Robert speaking to me as I walk, because I'm open to it. So be open to spirit to speak to you on your spiritual journey. Doesn't mean you have to listen all the time, but at least be opening to the connection to spirit. That'd be awesome. So I hope you enjoyed it today. I mean, we're going to be doing more things here in the near future. We're going to do a day that I'm going to have you blocked up, but we're going to be doing readings. I'm going to show you how readings are done. And I'm going to do readings here on for the hour that we're going to have this. But teach you a little bit how readings are done and how they're connected to how spirit works. So we're going to work in that direction here. Probably in the next 2 to 3 weeks, we're going to have an hour of readings and how to personally do them from this part of my perspective and how spirit works with me. So I hope you enjoyed it today. Thank you so much for being here today. This will be posted on my YouTube channel. I have some other stuff being posted, but I tell people if there's something you don't understand, there's something that you would like me to speak on, that you would like me to talk about. I probably know something, I don't know, but there's something you would like me to talk about. Tell me. If I have a connection or understanding of how to do that, I will teach it. I will instruct on it here when we're in these classes, in this conference call for an hour on Thursday. So if there's something you would like to say, Louis, what about that? What about this? What about that? I can talk about it. I can convey the information the best I can for you. And then let you take the pieces, whatever I teach you, and what pieces you need. The rest of it, leave it on the ground. Somebody else will pick it up. That's why I post these on YouTube. I have many people tune in after we're already done and listen to what I've said. So, and maybe the pieces I drop there will be encouraging their lives. So thank you for tuning in today. We will see you next week. Remember Friday night, my class. If you're here in camp, I'm going to try at some point, maybe do a live feed with mediumship classes. I'm going to work on that. I'm going to work on that. I haven't got that savvy yet. I had a hard time just getting on the Zoom today. So being that savvy yet, I'm not